Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. Google News is featuring this article today. Climate change could spell the end for Midwestern corn, study finds. The Midwestern Corn Belt, which roughly covers parts of Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, and Kansas, will be unsuitable for cultivating corn by the year 2100 if climate change continues on its current trajectory. That sounds really alarming. Let's take a look at what the current trajectory is. Over the past 60 years, corn yields in the United States have tripled to current record highs. Temperatures in the states mentioned in the article peaked in 1921 and have since plummeted. 1921 was the warmest year in the Corn Belt, and millions of people around the world faced death from starvation that year. New York Herald, September 4th, 1921. Death for millions in 1921's record heat wave. Summer temperatures peaked in the Corn Belt during the 1930s. During the year 1936, 1 day out of every 5 was over 90 degrees in the Corn Belt. Recent years have been much cooler and have been close to record lows. During the 1930s, the Midwest was having terrible heat and drought, but precipitation in the Corn Belt has increased more than 10% over the last 90 years. The weather is getting better in the Corn Belt, which is one of the reasons why corn yields have increased so much. In this article, NASA explains another reason for the increased corn yields. They say that increased levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere are making plants grow faster and making them more drought resistant. NASA says the greening represents an increase in leaves on plants and trees equivalent in area to 2 times the area of the United States. It's pretty clear that this propaganda being promoted by Google News is blatant misinformation. Google claims that they're cracking down on misinformation when in fact they're ramping it up and censoring people who tell the truth. People might wonder how an article so blatantly fraudulent could make it through peer review. But this is the norm in peer-reviewed science. Richard Horton is the editor of the Lancet medical journal, and he says, "The case against science is straightforward. Much of the scientific literature, perhaps half, may simply be untrue." And then the fraudulent science becomes the basis of fraudulent government policy. Joe Biden says his policies are based on climate justice, when in fact what he's actually doing is making life unaffordable for the poor and middle class. Toto has been pulling back the curtain on this massive fraud for the past 14 years. You can visit Toto, Kyrie, and Caesar on the web at realclimatescience.com.